Dayun walks alone among a group of fellow students. Zooming in on her face, it becomes evident that she's deep in thought, wearing a melancholic expression. She ponders Ijin's words, contemplating whether she can now attend school without the fear of being bullied. The blonde-haired girl who had previously bullied Dayun now perches on a table, calling out for Dayun to approach. Meanwhile, Dayun stands with an armful of food, her thoughts drifting towards her hunger. In the subsequent scene, Dayun's tormentor grips her hair firmly, warning her never to speak out against her again. Dayun snaps back to reality when Ijin inquires about her thoughts. Dayun appears surprised as she hadn't noticed Ijin. He's curious about what had occupied her thoughts so thoroughly that she didn't hear him speaking. Ijin's sister apologizes to him and inquires if he had been waiting once more. He responds, "I'm really bad with directions." Dayun is left quite puzzled by this statement. She suggests that, since they are walking together, they should make a quick stop at the store to pick up some items. Dayun elaborates, explaining that her grandpa tends to get very hungry when he returns from work, and he appreciates it when dinner is ready in advance. While Ijin and Dayun continue their walk home, the two girls who bully Dayun lurk behind them. The blonde one remarks, "Dayun seems to be having quite a good time. Let's see how long she can keep that up." Dayun's expression grows intensely serious as she gazes at the food before her, pondering what she should choose. The girls behind Ijin engage in conversation about him, speculating on his origins and sharing their apparent attraction to him. Dayun takes notice of this and is impressed that, even outside of school, people are talking about how cool Ijin is. Dayun then inquires if her brother had a girlfriend in their previous place of residence. Ijin, taken aback by the question and not entirely comprehending what a girlfriend is, asks her to explain. She clarifies that a girlfriend is someone more than just a friend. Ijin's expression turns serious, and he responds that there was no one like that in his previous life. His sister expresses her surprise, mentioning that she had thought he would be popular. Ijin, upon hearing this comment, falls into silence, his expression suggesting that there might be more to the story. Dayun diverts her attention back to the food, thinking that Ijin probably had a tough time living alone. Suddenly, we hear Ijin asking her if she has a boyfriend. Dayun appears shocked as Ijin persistently presses the question and humorously provides an explanation of what a boyfriend is. She responds, "I don't have a boyfriend." Ijin follows up by asking her why that is. Wearing a forced smile, she replies that she has been too busy to pursue a relationship. The scene transitions to Ijin's home, where the lights are still illuminated. Ijin's grandpa announces that he has purchased something for Ijin, revealing a brand new phone. Ijin's grandpa explains that these days, all the students have one, and he has chosen a rather decent model for Ijin. Dayun gazes at the phone and observes that it's the latest model. Their grandpa beams with happiness and informs Ijin that he has already input both his and Dayun's phone numbers. Dayun appears surprised that their grandfather handled it, mentioning that she typically manages such tasks for him. The grandfather appears embarrassed and admits that he sought assistance from the store clerk. Dayun expresses her happiness and suggests that he could have simply asked them to take care of it for him. Blushing, the grandfather admits that he wanted to do it himself. He continues by mentioning that he had heard that unboxing things is an important experience, and although he needed to unbox it to input the numbers, he hopes it's alright. The grandfather, feeling somewhat embarrassed, inquires if Dayun is upset because he only bought one for Ijin. Dayun reassures him, saying that it's completely fine because her current phone still works perfectly. Ijin looks gratefully at his grandfather and says, "Thank you." The camera transitions to Ijin's bedroom, where he lies in his bed with the phone held above his head, gazing at the screen with a fascinated expression. The camera shifts once more to a massive building, revealing a single light shining from within. We observe the military man from the beginning, the one who taught Ijin before school. He receives a notification on his phone, and he appears somewhat surprised since it's already late at night. As he checks his phone, he finds a message from Ijin, instructing him to use this number from now on. The individual looks surprised, as he doesn't recognize the number. From behind him, another person appears and questions whether the lieutenant didn't buy Ijin a new smartphone back then. They speculate that Ijin might have simply changed his phone, as is common among kids nowadays. The lieutenant becomes angry and shouts that he bought Ijin the most expensive smartphone. The other person humorously suggests that Ijin might simply not like the brand. The scene shifts back to Ijin as he emerges from the shower. Dayun rushes past Ijin, exclaiming that she's going to head out ahead. Ijin comments that she's leaving early once more. Dayun, looking excited as if she's had too much candy, replies that she's already running late. Once again, we find Ijin alone in the room with a warm meal set on the table. We see Dayun glancing at her phone as she rushes somewhere, worried that she'll barely make it on time. The reason for her lateness becomes apparent: she spent the entire morning preparing the same soup her grandfather had enjoyed the day before. However, Dayun is content that her grandpa appeared delighted with her efforts. Suddenly, Dayun gets struck in the side by a foot. We witness 3 masked girls standing over Dayun, who appears injured and lying on the floor. The camera zooms in on the girls, but their identities remain concealed. The one in the front chastises Dayun, telling her that she should be more mindful of where she's going. Dayun appears frightened as she gazes at the figures before her. The person in front stares at Dayun and advises her to apologize when she accidentally bumps into others. Hearing this, Dayun quickly apologizes. Before Dayun can finish her sentence, the leader of the group strikes her in the face and demands that she be quiet, emphasizing that a simple apology won't suffice. Out of nowhere, one of the girls from the back expresses that she's feeling a bit out of sorts today and suggests to the others that they go to karaoke. Both of the other individuals in the group agree, seemingly changing their focus from Dayun. The girl from the back kneels down and asks Dayun if she would like to join them as well. Dayun recognizes the voice and instantly identifies the girl in front of her as Ijin. She looks traumatized. The scene shifts to the girls walking into a karaoke bar, discussing how poorly they performed the last time they visited. The shop owner grumbles about how the youth these days are too energetic and tend to scream excessively. As the owner opens the door, he appears traumatized. The scene reveals Dayun collapsed on the floor, covered in blood and bruises. As he reaches for his phone to call for help, Dayun suddenly gathers her belongings and walks out of the room without a word. The scene shifts to a surprised teacher inquiring about Dayun's whereabouts. One of the girls in Dayun's class informs the teacher that she is absent today. As we view Dayun's vacant desk, the teacher remarks that she wouldn't typically miss school without notifying them. Ijin is present in class and overhears everything. She begins to smirk like a villain. The girl sitting next to Ijin asks if they will be alright, to which Ijin feigns ignorance and asks what she means, asserting they didn't do anything. While playing innocent, Ijin reflects on the satisfaction of teaching a lesson to Dayun and believes that Dayun needed to understand her position in the social hierarchy. After school, Ijin waits once again for Dayun, but to his surprise, she doesn't show up. He considers the possibility that she might have already gone home and decides to call her. The scene shows Dayun curled up in her bed with her phone lying beside her. Her phone is ringing, but she remains motionless, not making a move to answer it. As Ijin enters his home, he observes that it is entirely dark, leading him to believe that she may not be there yet. However, his thoughts are interrupted when he spots Dayun's white shoes at the entrance, making it clear that she must be home. Ijin knocks on Dayun's door. You can hear Dayun's voice from the other side, sounding surprised that Ijin is already back. Ijin inquires if everything is alright because he waited for her at school. Dayun apologizes and explains that she's feeling a bit under the weather and had been napping. Ijin turns around and heads to the door, intending to buy some medicine for his younger sister. As Ijin gazes down to put on his shoes, he notices blood on Dayun's shoes. All emotions vanish from his face, and he takes on a stern and determined expression, as if he's prepared to confront someone.